because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir. The 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes. We know who they are. Your home was raided by federal authorities, and I assume it is because of this material. Is that true? And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
Huh. This guy's bold.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
All right, so I have a question for you. If the things that you are about to hear in this video and the things that we have been hearing over the past few months surrounding the Diddy situation, if these things happen to be true, my first question is, why have a lot of these things been such big news? Why is this such a groundbreaking story? It's not just because of what he was doing to people without their permission, right? I think also part of why it was so big, or it's been such a big story, is because of a lot of men celebrities that are quote unquote undercover, that a lot of people are looking, and we know that that's a big part of what people are looking for and surprised about, right? But the bigger question is, why is that such a big deal? Because a lot of you all hop in the comment section and say, I don't care about what people do in the privacy of their bedroom. I care if children are involved, or I care if people are doing something to another person without their consent, or drugging people and doing something without their knowledge. And I understand it. But there's a bigger thing I want to bring to your attention. Why is this such a big deal? Why are so many of these videos going viral that just simply talk about homosexual men in the industry, specifically in the industry? I think it's because a lot of people in 2024 look at the landscape of society and where we are, and we live in a time where the LGBTQA plus infinity, whatever the letters are, we live in a time where that community is celebrated, they're supported, not just by way of media, but in movies and shows, but they're also supported by legislation. They're supported by policy, right? We're living in a time where we have openly homosexual rappers such as Lil Nas X. And so why is it that we still have rappers and musicians and artists who are undercover? I would like to propose a theory. Is it that a lot of these people are not quote unquote homosexual, so to speak? It's not as so much about the sexuality of these people, that they're doing the things that you're about to hear that they're doing on these tapes, but it's more so about rituals. It's more so about occultism. It's more so about Satanism. Could it be those things, right? Because a lot of you all still want to use the word, after all the things we've heard in 2024, a lot of y'all still want to use words like conspiracy theories and you got to prove what you're saying, when all these people who are victims and participated and was there when it was happening, are witnesses, are testifying, including the person we're about to talk about. This guy by the name of Courtney just went before a federal grand jury and testified against Diddy about these so-called sex tapes that he have. I believe he have 8 of them, and that he got from Kim Porter, which is Diddy's ex-girlfriend, who is now deceased, that a lot of people is under the belief allegedly Diddy took out. They believe that she did not have pneumonia. They believe that she was poisoned, similar to the Jamie Foxx situation that I've already covered on this channel, right? So before we tap into the video, listen, if you're new to the show, please know we're thirsty to grow and to drink some of this water. You can help me out by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a sec to do that to help me out. Just hit that like button. Really, really helps the channel. It's for free. Don't cost you anything. hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake. Courtney Burgess told his story on a podcast before he told the grand jury today, and after he told the grand jury, and I mean immediately after, he booked it over to my set, and he and his attorney talked to me. I should tell you that he was very limited in how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not. Here now is my conversation with Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell, who's his attorney, beginning with the question of whether the participants in the video even knew they were being recorded. Were there any cameras in places where you'd assume privacy, like bathrooms?
Yeah, well, I've never been in this house, but the picture, yes. That's where it took place, yes.
You're aware of surreptitious cameras that were recording in private places like bathrooms?
I didn't see the cameras. You could tell how the person was angled. I knew that it was a camera there because I was there, I wasn't there. I don't know if the person was too tall, he was holding it or whatever, but I wasn't there.
May I ask you this, Courtney? And Ariel, you can jump in on this as well, but I want to hear from Courtney first. Your home was raided by federal authorities, and I assume it is because of this material. Is that true?
I wouldn't say that. They just went to every one of them looking for me. They said, the paperwork said the 24th, that I had to be there the 28th, and then it was the 27th. I said, I can't make it there, that's tomorrow. So I don't know. From the look of it, it was 4 days.
And I want to be specific. When we talk about a raid, we're talking about when a subpoena is served for documents, a search warrant or an arrest warrant. In this situation, Mr. Burgess was not in any way, shape, or form had a search warrant or an arrest warrant issued for him. It was just them serving a subpoena. So when the federal government needs to serve a subpoena, they use the Marshal Service to come to all of your residences if you have more than one residence. So in this situation, they sent marshals to all of Mr. Burgess's residences, and that was somehow construed or understood or turned into a raid, but he did not face a raid. It was just to serve him the subpoena.
Ariel, do you believe that the subpoenas were issued and executed based on the federal authorities' knowledge that these flash drives existed and had this kind of compromising material?
I think it was based on statements that Mr. Burgess made in a prior interview.
And those statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appeared to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest.
Let me just pause right there to just say real fast. I've said it before in other videos. I mean, can we use, what's the purpose of using conspiracy theory, the word conspiracy theory anymore, especially when it comes to the music industry? I'm not saying we shouldn't use the term at all, but I mean, think about this. What would be the purpose of you drugging? I mean, you're rich and famous. You can have anybody you want. What would be the purpose of you drugging and sexually taking advantage of other human beings, let alone human beings of the same sex as you or the same gender as you, let alone underage? I mean, that's a different type of evil. I am under the belief that this is common practice and it's common knowledge in the industry, allegedly, that a lot of these people do things like this. It's for leverage. When you say things like they didn't know or they wasn't aware of the fact that they were being filmed, what's the purpose of filming them, right? This buys into the tropes. This buys into the what you all would call conspiracy theory, that a lot of these people are having to do things either willingly or unwillingly to get record deals, to become these massive stars. Things are held over their heads, right? To have a sort of an allegiance to either some occult, to some person, to some fraternity. This is massive, and this buys into all the because people are going to throw out the names of who these underage people are, and we know who they are. I'm not going to say their names. I've covered them in this on this channel already. This is just sad, bro.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
2 to 3. Also on the flash drives, Courtney, was what looked to be a manuscript written by, it appears to be a woman who had taken Kim Porter's private journals and had written a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know.
I
don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know how, who wrote it, put it together, but it was from her when I spoke to her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed book or was it notes from Kim Porter that later were made into a book?
It was completed. It's only 60,
Okay.
it's only about 54 pages. It was
Sure, and in the beginning, it says, Kim made me promise that if something happened to her, I would make sure this book became public to the world. The way Sean moved, I knew that was a promise I would have to fulfill. Kim knew I was a woman of my word, and this book was going to make it to print. So it sounds like it is a woman who wrote up the notes from Kim Porter. Does that sound accurate?
It's how you read it, yes. I haven't even read the book.
Do you know who the woman is?
No.
And to be clear, he received it in its complete form. So I think just to make sure we have some clarity here,
Yeah.
the manuscript that Mr. Burgess received was already in its complete form. It's not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He did give it to someone
Makes
else
sense.
who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
Okay, so Ariel, did your client, Courtney, receive the book from the woman who seems to have written it, saying, I'm a woman of my word, and this book is going to make it to print?
I don't know if he received it from a man or a woman. He can answer that.
I received it from a man. I tell you, somebody she was dating.
Do you know if the notes from the book really were from Kim Porter?
It was, yes, because I spoke to her probably like 6 hours before I got it, received it.
You spoke to Kim Porter?
Yes.
So Kim Porter.
Just saying hi.
Okay.
Just saying hi. Didn't
Okay, Ariel, go ahead and give me clarity on the timeline.
No, I'm trying to get him
Ariel.
to provide clarity of Was there a conversation with
No,
her?
I was
or
talking to the person, and he said, "Hold up, this is Courtney. Be right here. Let me say something to him." He said, "I know him. Put me on speaker." Then that's how we end up speaking.
And then later, somebody else came and brought you the manuscript.
Right. Before I left ATL.
To the best of your knowledge, Courtney, do you believe that the manuscript is truly based on Kim Porter's diaries? Because there is a lot of dialogue in there. It is pages and pages of actual dialogue, which, I mean, I can't remember breakfast today, let alone dialogue from 5, 10, 15, and 20 years ago.
I guess this is a woman's scar. You understand? Maybe, what she been through. It's, I'm not a woman, so I'm just going by how I got female friends and relatives. They always come to the house scoring because what went on in their relationship. And when you're scoring, you can't forget it.
I'm trying to follow along to this story. Like, this is I'm not gonna lie, man. This is scary. This is really scary because I don't know if he's saying the boyfriend of Kim Porter at the time of she was alive, or the boyfriend of the woman Kim Porter gave these manuscripts to. Because if it's the boyfriend of Kim Porter, I think he's referring to maybe Al B. Shore, who also mysteriously became sick, just like Kim Porter, just like Jamie Foxx. But regardless, this seems credible and very genuine to me. But it's a bigger question I want to ask, which is a question I've asked before. Why now? Sure, Diddy stepped out of line and all this, that, and the third, but this is the bigger thing I want you all to think about. The powers that be, who chose that now for whatever reason is the time that they're going to press charges and let all this and change policies so that all these old things that happen can be brought forth once again, which is why I'm telling you it's tied to the politicians and the laws. They're connected to all these different people, so they can find different ways to get you if they want to get you. They understand that if Diddy goes down, a lot of other people go down, unless something mysteriously happens to Diddy while he's incarcerated. Otherwise, a lot of people in the industry and outside the industry that look like me and don't look like me, if you follow what I'm saying, who are a lot of these celebrities' bosses, which are the real people who are in power, they're going to be implicated. So if you understand that, why at any point would you choose to go out to Diddy in this way? Would you choose to take down Diddy in this way? Because, make no mistake, all of this is orchestrated. I believe that Diddy is guilty of all of this, just like I believe that R. Kelly is guilty of all of this. And I've said this on record multiple times. But the bigger question is why? Why now? Right? Why now? But this also goes to show that all this stuff is corrupt. We as people, we're all being played. The celebrities that are in power are placed in power. They're controlled by other people. Which means what they choose to make music about, what they choose to make movies about, what they choose to sell us and tell us and convey to us is all orchestrated. All of it. Have you all seen this interview? I'll include the link in the description. Hop in the comment section. Give me your thoughts, man. I'm just trying to keep you all up to date with everything that I'm finding regarding this story. Until next time. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Diddy got a podcast.